Hey, hi guys, how are you? Happy Wednesday afternoon. It's right before lunch and I have felt compelled to come do this live video and come chit chat with you guys here in the CBD info group for just a couple of minutes. I've had a lot of questions in the past couple of days since my boys went back to school, and I guess as everybody's starting to get their kids back to school and life underway, about CBD and your kids. And is it okay? Is it not okay? Do you talk to the doctor? Do you talk to the school? Who do you tell? What do you do? Well, guess what? I'm going to ease your concerns and your fears about CBD and your children right now in this video. And it's going to be so amazing because I feel so empowered and compelled to talk to you guys about it that I'm going to put it on YouTube when I'm done. So here's the deal. I have two children. They're 6, almost 7. He'll be 7 in like 9 days. And 3. I have 2 boys. My oldest, who is about to be 7, has been diagnosed with ADHD. We have no learning disabilities or other things that are associated with that. And sensory issues along with impulsiveness are my little baby's highlights as far as his ADHD is concerned. Now, I am one of those people that probably about a year ago, when he was in 1st grade and he was really starting to struggle with his ADHD, and the first or the second or maybe the third time I had heard the word medications pop up in a conversation with his educators, I started doing some research. And I started doing some research as far as alternative therapies where these ADHD kids were concerned, and how could I help my son without getting him on medication or going down that road. He's 6 years old. He was 5 years old when these conversations started at school, and I was nowhere near ready to have my child on meds. Now, let me also fill you in. I have, his birthday is August 30th, you guys. So I live in Florida. He's at the cutoff. So if his birthday, if it would have been the next day, he would have had to wait a whole year to start kindergarten. And I didn't hold him back. Academically speaking, he's on it. He's getting it. I never held him back. I didn't feel the need. He is an outgoing social child. So we sent him off to school, and he is the youngest kid in his class and will be every year. His little best buddy is born on the same day, so they share that title together. But I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with him being the youngest in his class. But what I know is that I need to give him a little bit more credit where school is concerned, and know that he's always maybe the youngest in the class, and he's never maybe going to be the smartest in the class or the most advanced in the class. And we're okay with that, right? So for my ADHD child, I was doing my research, did not want to go onto medications, did not want to even explore that yet. And popped up on my computer, CBD. And I have long time been an advocate for medical marijuana. I'm a nurse. I have seen, here in the state of Florida, I've seen geriatric patients on so many medications that you don't know what's causing their blood pressure anymore. You don't know what's causing their diabetes anymore because they're on so many medications that it's just out of control. And we live in a society where it's go to the doctor and take your medication, and I'm just not that girl. I'm not going to go to the doctor and just take the medication. I'm going to do my research, I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to take things a step further, because I know that it's the day and age that big pharma, chemicals, and money rule the world. So I'm not ready to just dose myself with whatever medication they tell me to or give it to my child. Being proactive about it, I did a lot of research. I talked to my friends in California. I talked to friends that were giving their children CBD. I read all the blogs. I read all the articles. I did all the research as far as CBD was concerned in children with ADHD. My son is also extremely anxious. He has anxiety. I have anxiety. All of it, like ADHD, anxiety, impulsiveness, it all is under that ADHD umbrella. And my child truly needed a way to calm his anxiety, calm his nerves, get the ADHD settled so that he could focus on his schoolwork and he could focus on his academics. He could focus when he was dealing with me or his peers or other people, and just be able to have an easier time in his daily life, in his routine, right? So I did my research. The first set of CBD products I purchased were it was over $214. Each bottle would last about 3 months, and they were $100 a piece. I had a coupon, so I saved a little bit of money my first order, but I was like, all right, I'm committing to spending this money on his wellness and on his, these supplements if they help him and they work. So I did that. After I did that and it was a good 3 weeks, a month that he was on these products. I didn't notice much of a difference. I didn't notice much of a change. He was willingly taking it, which that made me happy. I wasn't having to be, bribe him or anything like that. He just took it. And this is a kid who's very picky with what he eats and what he does. And this brand particularly was extremely earthy. It had a really strong taste. It was nothing like what we're using now. Nothing like Hempworks. And I even tasted it once and the taste lingered in my mouth forever. I was like, oh. And I was so happy at the time that my 6-year-old picky child was taking it, right? So I let him go. I let him do his thing. I watched him. We used those bottles and I didn't see much of a change. So I gave up on it. I was like, all right, well, whatever. We'll just ignore this. We're going to sweep this under the rug. We're not giving you medications. We're going to go back to our occupational therapy and our speech therapy and our behavior charts and all of that good stuff that we use, right? So we did that. We finished out first grade, and then right towards the end of first grade, I started to get very concerned with his reading, very concerned with his focus, very concerned with his response and his reaction with other kids and his educators and adults working with him. I wasn't sure what the answer was at the time, but I was willing to give CBD another try. So I got a phone call from a friend, and she was telling me all about these awesome products. And she's like, you have to try this. You have to try it with Gavin, because my sister is an occupational therapist and she's having great results with kids who are on the spectrum or who have ADHD in her practice. She owns her own practice. And I said, oh my God, I'll totally try it. Send it over. I bought a bottle of oil. I tried it. And next thing you know, here I am. I'm a 10K leader with Hempworks. I have a child who's gone back to school, more focused, more chilled out, ready and able and willing to learn and take the CBD every day, twice a day. I went into his doctor's office before I started him on it, and just because I happened to have an appointment, and I asked his doctor if he had heard about CBD therapy or knew anything about it, and he asked me if it was fish oil. This is my pediatrician, who is not a young beaver, but like an experienced, good pediatrician, who asked me if CBD oil was fish oil. So thank you, check asking the doctor off the box. Then as far as my kids in school, my children are in private school. I was extremely quiet about their use and me trying CBD. I didn't want other people to know. I didn't want the school to know. I didn't want anybody to know. And then I was like, when I found Hempworks, a fully legal daily nutritional supplement that I should have no fear or concern dosing my child with. It's GMO free, it's non-toxic, it's organically grown. There's nothing in it that's going to harm my child. Like Doritos is worse than Hempworks CBD for my child, right? So when I realized this is like a perfectly normal thing to be doing, and I saw so many others out there dosing their children with CBD, Hempworks CBD in particular, I felt extremely comfortable to not hide about giving my son CBD and about what was helping my son. And in not hiding, I have created a really awesome home-based business because of that, because I'm super passionate about helping other moms who are struggling with kids like mine. My 3-year-old, he didn't sleep in 3 years through the night, you guys. I dosed him with CBD. The first night he slept through the night, and he's been sleeping since. There are so many different amazing benefits to giving your children CBD that when I hear people tell me, I'm concerned about the THC, I'm concerned about giving my child cannabis oil, and I'm concerned about all the stuff that comes with CBD, I'm like, but you've been giving your son or your daughter pharmaceuticals that are toxic and chemicals that have hurt them and hindered them and made you crazy, because at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they come home from school, they're bouncing off walls because the medication's worn off, and you can't give them another one, because if you give them another one, then nobody's sleeping in that house that night. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid of CBD and your children using CBD. Don't be afraid. Be empowered. Be that mom and that person who knows that they're giving their child the best alternative therapy out there for them that is truly going to help them. Don't be fearful of the THC, and if you are, use the THC-free version. My children, 6 and 3 years old, CBD. Twice a day, every day. They know the drill. They'll give it to themselves. They know it makes them feel better. They know it makes them feel stronger and more able and more capable to get through their day when they're away from me. And all that these little babies have to deal with out in the world in their little, community that they go to every day. It may not be like us, but you know what? They still have to deal with it. And they know with CBD by their side, they're having a better day. They know mommy's having a better day. I know today when I walk into my kid's school at 3:45 for my first parent-teacher meeting of the year for my lovely little second grader, I am going armed, locked, loaded, and ready. My kid has CBD twice a day, every day. Would you like me to come dose him at lunchtime? I'm more than happy to do that for you. And I have my behavior modification chart. This is really simple. You want to know what it is? He either gets screen time or he doesn't get screen time. And guess who's the judge of that? His teacher. We're at a point with him where he doesn't want to be bothered. He wants to be independent. And I am giving him every tool that he needs to go out there and do that. And I want every mom out there or every dad who's struggling with a difficult, strong-willed, ADHD, non-ADHD, any child, let's not umbrella this, because any child will benefit from a daily dose of CBD. Any child on this planet. Are you ready to give your child goodness and something that's going to help them, and an oil that is only going to help them perform better, and be happier little human beings? Sign me up. Sign me up. Are you going to be that mom that goes into the doctor's office and said, I've researched everything, I'm exhausted, I've done everything I have, I've tried all my options, let's medicate my child. Now, if that's you and you haven't tried CBD, I want you to message whoever invited you to this group. I want you to send me a message. I want you to do whatever you need to do to ask the questions and do the research about CBD before you put your kids on medication and go that route. If your kids are already on medication, I guarantee you if you add CBD into their daily routine with their medications, you're going to see a happier, healthier, more productive, fulfilled, thriving child. That's all. So, any questions about kids and CBD? Feel free to drop them below. All right, guys, have a great afternoon.